Welcome back to Sanford Days. We're back on the Ascension server, and today we're going to become Mr.Freeze.
Stay cool, bird boy.
Played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, with all of the bad puns and get to the choppers included. Or at least we're going to try to become our best interpretation. Initially I thought a blood elf would be best, but the orc is better for these two reasons: is bluer, is muscular-ier. But in order to become Mr. Freeze, we first have to study Mr. Freeze. So what makes up the iconic character? It's these three factors: big ice, big gun, and big pun. We can get all three of those. However, some butthead took the name Mr. Freeze, so we have to be Mincer Freeze. Just don't think about it. Now that we're actually into the game, I decided to pick agility as our main stat because I think it'll be best for our gun ice build. We still have to roll for our abilities, but luckily we got everything we needed on the first roll and pay no attention to any obvious editing mistakes. Our first ability makes us to go pew pew but really hard. Our second ability makes us go pew pew but poison. The third one allows me to pew pew passively, and the final one is going to allow me to tame an ice creature when I finally get to it. It may not be the iciest start, but here's the Iceman himself smoking a lit cigar, okay? Not everybody's icy all the time. My first quest is to kill some boar, and all supervillains have humble beginning, so I guess I'll take it. I put that boar on ice. I spent hours editing this, and it's really sad because I thought that was going to be a totally normal thing to record and put on afterwards. It's too late for regret, so I grabbed the quest from the biggest butthead in the entire starting zone. This guy says that I need to save him from the scorpion that stung him, but take a look, this is a yellow mob. A yellow mob means it only attacks if provoked, meaning that this jerk attacked the scorpion poisoned him back, he ran away like a coward, and now I need to go pretend to save him. I let him die. After turning in the earliest quest, I kinda put some garb together. This is my early supervillain uniform, and trust me, Tobey Maguire would totally agree that every super something has to have a really crap uniform to start. I was then hired to wake up a bunch of lazy peons who are sleeping on the job. Today we harass peons, tomorrow we harass Gotham. It's like a chain, you gotta work your way up there. On my way to harass more peons, I tripped over the fourth wall and showed you my editor. I just thought it was really funny that there's a random fist in the bottom left-hand corner that most people wouldn't see. Now that you're thoroughly confused, let me confuse you more, as I've been tasked to take out the demons in this tunnel, not because they're demons, but because they have hooves. And I've been told by a fairly reliable source, anything with hooves is evil. This message is brought to you by the Anti-Horse Alliance. If it neighs, say no way. Even Mr. Freeze supports us.
Cool party.
After handling the hooved heathens, I decided I would rather just grind up for the last level before 10 because I was a little bit sick of doing the starter quests. I was honestly gonna leave the Quillboar alone, but then they said they like their drinks at room temperature, and that's a fight on site if I've ever seen one. I'm going to be sending you to the cooler. You are now Frosty the Dead Man. Listen, I don't want to be making these terrible ice jokes, but it's part of the video shtick, okay? I can't get around the shtick. After finally slaughtering what seems like an entire Gotham-sized area, I managed to level up to 10, which gives me my first truly ice move. This allows me to summon a small localized blizzard on my location, as well as a passive that makes my shooty bits be even more shooty bitty and do more damage. Arnie would be so very proud of me. See, I told you. Hey, Boarface, guess what my favorite souvenir is? It's a snow globe. I cannot believe how much I'm committing to this. After turning the remaining boar into boarsicles, I decided I needed to find more intelligent prey so they could appreciate my amazing puns. And that means I have to find some humans. Not just any humans, we're gonna visit my historical favorite, the seamen, because they always have a good sense of humor and puns. After all, it is a natural progression, going from boarsicles to people pops, or you could try my new business venture I like to call Sailor Juice. Sailor Juice, made from 100% real sailors. For a moment I thought that the cannibalism joke would have been in bad taste, but then I realized saying bad taste out loud makes it even funnier, so I had to leave it in. After making my way to the captain's chambers and taking him down, I realized that this isn't a challenge run, and I could just hop into the mana storm whenever I want to get some easy levels, and that's exactly what I did. So I decided if I hopped into a mana storm and I just went for the bosses really quickly, I'd get a whole bunch more levels, which meant more ice moves to put the BOW in my GOW. For those that don't speak Arnold, that meant put the power in my punch. I know, it's a hard dialect, but if you give it enough time, you'll learn it. Unfortunately, because I have like 3 damaging moves and not a whole bunch of gear, this has been an incredible drag. And this boss that I finally got to after like 6.5 minutes, which is an incredibly long time for me in a regular mana storm, took forever to destroy. But I'm not really worried about the time because I've got to learn to chill out. All of this cold is getting to my head. I think I'm starting to get a brain freeze. Okay, puns, check. Big gun, check. Last thing we need is more ice, and the good news is going through this portal and leveling up has netted me one more ice move, and that would be frost armor. I'm just as chilly on the outside as the real Arnold now. I also got an ability that reduces the mana cost of frost spells, and in case you're wondering, yes, Mr. Freeze is massively economically savvy. That's where the term cold hard cash even came from. Were you under the impression that ice lasers were cheap or something? After turning this ogre into custard, which took an exacerbated amount of time because of my incompetence, I did manage to level up, and when I did you see that right there? Did you see that? I'm pretty sure that was frost ammunition, one of the things I need to shoot ice gun bullets. To whom should be concerned, you have taken what is rightfully mine away from me for the last time. And I sure hope this email finds you before I do. Yeah, you probably saw that idea first on TikTok, but they keep reposting my shit anyway, so who cares? I kept doing the mana storms for a while, trying to find more frost-based abilities, but after getting no luck over and over again, I asked myself, WWMFD, what would Mr. Freeze do? And then the answer was obvious. I had to go take out my unrivaled aggression on people who did nothing to me while screaming, blah, 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 blah. So I popped into player versus player, and I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I made them experience what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
How it feels to chew 5 gum. Cool says you chew.
Get it, they're cold because I'm Mr. Freeze and I do the cold thing. Also, finding an unmemed version of that clip was incredibly difficult. Back to the game, I immediately was slew by a fire werewolf. In all fairness, if Mr. Freeze were to have an iconic enemy that he had no chance against, it would probably be exactly this. I mean, it's fire and a wolf. Dying only makes me rise from my frozen ashes like some kind of reverse phoenix. Despite me dropping more ice blocks than an igloo factory, we still lost due to my henchman's incompetence, but we did make off with a whole bunch of loot. Satisfied with my score, I decided that we were still missing one piece of becoming a true supervillain, and that is terrorizing citizens. You can't be super and a villain without making people who haven't done anything suffer. So I picked a village to destroy, but on my way I got stopped by a tiger, which I killed and leveled up on. I managed to get the move concussive shot, which slows things down, and slow, ice, I think they're close enough of cousins to keep this one. Luckily enough, I had just made that giant score to have some reroll scrolls, and I got garbage, so I decided to reroll again, and I got rage refilled. I'm absolutely ready to decimate this village and try to steal all of their diamonds if they have any. That one got cold feet. Picking civilians off one by one didn't really feel like a spectacle that I wanted, so instead I pulled everything that I could into one singular building and made a big old freeze fest. It looks like I almost died here, but keep in mind, my health is in Celsius. The numbers are just a bit different than what the Americans are used to. It was then time to shoehorn a freeze line in that I've been trying to do this entire video, but I couldn't find any dinosaurs. What killed the dinosaurs?
Ice Age!
That's actually my favorite Mr. Freeze clip, just so you know. With the village destroyed and the dinosaurs diced, I could say that we've become a very icy supervillain. We're not quite to Mr. Freeze levels yet, but we'll get there next time. As always, this has been Sand for Days. I'm Course, and I get everywhere. So, most people are already gone. Past that little, goodbye, I have less than 7% of people who stick around. So if you did stick around, let me show you something ridiculous I found in the movie clips. I couldn't find a place to put this in, but I find it hilarious. Some girl seems to just fart on Mr. Freeze, and I have no idea why. So, that sounds like a fart to me. In my head, that's 100% a fart. But keep in mind, every sound effect in this movie was added in post. Someone came back here in this big budget movie and they added a fart for no reason. I'm trying to figure out why this occurred. Does anyone care? Or they were just haha, we'll put a goof on and we'll make her fart. I just don't get it. Anyway, this is the real goodbye now. Bye-bye.